Yes. Let me see you move.
Love never felt so good. And I died, they never could. Not like you. Oh.
Hi everybody, I'm Dottie Rimsey and welcome aboard to Local Matters, where living local, well, it never felt so good. You know, advocacy is meaningful and it's powerful. Anytime we affirm the needs of people and facilitate meaningful services to them, we are advocating. And you know what? You don't even need a license to do it. But when we come back, we will meet several individuals who advocate the needs of crime victims and witnesses. And those needs can vary based upon the nature and the extent of the crimes. And so we're going to meet those folks when we come right back with more Local Matters. Hello everyone and welcome aboard to Local Matters, where living local, well, it never felt so good. I'm Dottie Rimsey. You know, advocacy work is so meaningful and it's so powerful. And the good thing about it is you don't even have to have a license to do it, but you do have to, I would imagine, develop some special skills along the way. And most of all, you would have to have passion. And so joining me on the set today of Local Matters is Mr. Ed Moore III. He is with the Justice and Civil Rights Initiative. And welcome back, Jesse Edwards. He's the Director of Communications with the Justice and Civil Rights Initiative. You were here with me a few months ago, got caught sitting in a hot seat all alone, but today, not so much. You've got the head man in charge joining you today. So welcome aboard, guys.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having us.
Good deal. You know, guys, it's so much going on right now with our country. Terrorism being, of course, number one, high on the mark. We've got police brutality going on in places like Chicago, and thank God we're not there. But I do want to talk about some of the work that the organization that you guys have been doing along the way now for a couple of years. And I understand you've been doing some really amazing work. Talk to me, Ed, about how do you work to affirm people's rights? I understand that you provide services for people. Talk to us about that.
Well, those services can come in a number of different ways. Sometimes people call us with just a simple question as to their basic rights when it comes to a specific situation that may have rubbed them the wrong way, or they felt that some wrongdoing had been done to them. Or it could be a case where it's a criminal matter where we'll have to get law enforcement involved, and we can notify law enforcement that, hey, this person has a specific problem, and we can kind of act as that middle person, that middleman.
I always say that, as that conduit there.
Yes. And because a lot of times people don't really know what the process is when it comes to filing a police report or having an investigation launched, or what kind of evidence would be needed in order for a case to successfully hold out in court. Services such as that. And in many cases, if it's a situation where we can refer that person to another agency or another nonprofit organization that can specifically deal with their issue, we can provide that information and work with the other nonprofit to make sure that that person gets the help that they need. Like, for instance, if someone calls us having questions, when we've dealt with issues of sexual assault before, and we can kind of be the middle person that works between them and, say, an organization like Second Chance, which is a rape and sexual assault assistance center in Anniston. We've done things like that before. So we act as the middle person for the victim and whatever agency or whatever entity can assist them. And in some cases, if it's the situation where they're coming to us saying this particular group or this particular person or this particular agency has done something wrong to me, then we also act as that middleman, and we contact that group or that agency and says, hey, this person has accused you of doing this and we are investigating this. We need to set up a meeting to see what's going on, and is there substantial evidence to suggest that this person, that this wrongdoing actually did happen against this person.
Okay. Now, I understand that the organization really took root out of Jacksonville State University.
Yes.
And so you spearheaded the whole, were you the visionary behind this organization? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, the organization did. It was founded on the campus of Jacksonville State University on November 22nd, 2013. That was the 50th anniversary of JFK's assassination.
Okay.
And it's such a significance,
Right,
you know,
yeah.
to it. The fact that we were founded on that particular day, and as the founder, it means more than the world to me that was the particular day that all of this came to creation. And so yes, we did. We started on the campus of Jacksonville State University, and then as of February of this year, we became an independent nonprofit organization. And so, but Jacksonville State University was definitely our foundation.
A foundation for you.
And they basically gave us our liftoff to operate in the rest of the world.
A lift off, and if you will, a send off, and say go among the masses now and spread the word.
Yeah, go among the masses
Right.
and do what it is that you've been called to do.
Right, and now I would imagine that's where you met your communications director, Mr. Jesse Edwards.
Yes,
and so welcome aboard, Jesse. So you met of course, at the campus of Jacksonville State University.
I did.
What inspired you to want to become involved in the work along with Ed Moore? Because here you guys are two students on the university, and he's coming to you with this idea that he would like to be working in this field of advocacy for people and for people who are being caught up in the justice system. What would inspire you to follow him?
Well, in my studies at Jacksonville State University, I'm getting a bachelor's in political science. I became fascinated with justice and how it applies to the individual and their communities. And as I spoke with Ed about his organization, I found a medium that I could pursue the practice of justice without having to go through all the trouble of getting a law degree.
Right. So you realize, you know what, this is going to be great, because here I am now. I'm doing a two-pronged type of thing. I'm working to help people, but I'm also gaining a lot of experience behind it.
Yes.
Good deal. So now that you've moved away from the campus of Jacksonville State University, and so you really now are working closely with the district attorney's office here in Anniston, and also with law enforcement in Anniston as well. So when we come back, we've got to go to break right now, but when we come back, I want to talk to her and let our viewers know some of the great work that you've been doing, again, as an independent agency or organization. But once you receive that information, you know, you're not shy about going and sharing that along with the district attorney's office and other organizations as well. So don't go away. We'll be right back. We've got more information for you coming up with the Justice and Civil Rights Initiative. We'll be right back. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Local Matters, where living local never felt so good. I'm Dottie Rimsey, and I'm joined this morning with two members from the Justice and Civil Rights Initiative, Ed Moore. He is the president of the initiative, and I'm also joined with a young man that we're meeting for the very first time, Corey Sears. He's the communications specialist with the initiative. So welcome aboard. Before we left to go to break, we were talking about some of the first of all, just really understanding how this organization took root. We understand it started from Jacksonville State University, and now they've sort of expanded and really working and building their ties here in Calhoun County. And so recently, Ed Moore, you called a police unity, was it a police unity press conference? Talk to us about that press conference, because I have a photo too I wanted to bring up. What was going on here?
Wow.
Wow.
There was a lot going through my head that day.
Because I see key people behind. I see, of course, David Baker, longtime community activist person.
He's also the head of the Anniston Citizen Advisory Council, Anniston Police Citizen Advisory Council.
Right. And of course, our district attorney, Brian McVeigh.
Yeah, and Chief Assistant District Attorney Lynn Hammond. There's representatives there from Oxford Police Department, and then Jacksonville State Police Department is standing right behind Mr. Baker. And and Anniston Police Department. And then if you kind of look a little bit behind the district attorney, you'll see Oxford Chief of Police Bill Partridge.
And you know what I see? I'm getting ready to be the devil's advocate. People know that's what I do. You know what I don't see in this picture, Ed?
What?
And this organization we're going to talk about, that have been accused of not embracing the old establishment. I do not see not one minister in this photo, not one minister that will be considered from the old establishment in this photo. And so it's been touted that you have this tendency of not reaching out to old establishment, sort of sometimes acting as a lone wolf. I know a lot of our old establishments have since passed on. The oldest one being alive still, my father is still alive, Reverend Freddie V. Rimpsey. He's the only one left, if you really will think about it, from the true old establishment. And so, and recently we just lost, just earlier this week, Reverend Fred Durant. So they are passing on now. You are up and coming, the young generation. I guess I want to say, can you address this whole idea that you are acting as a lone wolf?
Well, first off, thank you for acknowledging Reverend Fred Durant. He was a man that I respected very much, and he had a lot of respect for me, and I trusted him and in his judgment. And you know, we all have things going on in our lives that we can't explain to other people. But at the end of the day, I know that Durant was a good man, and he'll be very missed, especially by me. And he was a pioneer in this community, despite whatever anyone had to say about him, or whatever troubles that he may have gone through, because we all have troubles.
That's right.
You know,
that's right.
With that being said, but nothing I do in any capacity is that of a lone wolf. I can't do what I do without the help of my staff. I mean, I have a staff of 11 people that report to me, and they all contribute to this organization in magnificent and mighty ways. I mean, there are people who I've met with hundreds of people over the past couple of years who have given their time to this organization, and they have helped us complete multiple missions that we're trying to pursue. And so nothing that I do or this organization does is a lone wolf. We're always receiving assistance and help from someone. And I'm never alone because I have the grace of God on my side.
Okay.
And so even if you feel like there's nobody there but me, there's always somebody there with me. And because, I mean, we've been in positions, and not only me, but my staff, I mean, we've been in positions where we have practically risked our lives in some of these communities trying to help people. I mean, we've walked through neighborhoods, some pretty dangerous neighborhoods in Calhoun County, trying to help solve crimes.
And speaking of that, I have another photo I wanted to bring up. Nathan is in a director's seat today. Nathan, if you would bring the photo up, it was a young lady standing with a young man, and they have a baby in their arms. I believe it's a family, young family. And this little boy, I believe, was he the young boy that was shot?
Yes.
In Norwood Homes. Talk to us about that, because I understand you really have worked with this young family.
Yes, that is Lesarge Minifield. He was a toddler who was injured in a drive-by shooting on September 9th, 2014. And his mother in the red dress.
Is that his dad there with the
Yes, his mother, Destiny Santiago, and that's his father, Bo Minifield.
Okay.
And he was injured in a drive-by shooting in Norwood Homes last year. And
is that case now resolved?
No one has been arrested.
No one has been, so you're still kind of working on that case?
Yes, yes.
Still working on that case?
Absolutely, and of course, you know, I won't be able to discuss any of the investigative matters here on air, but we are continuously working to help solve that case. And that photo that you saw was when we hosted a youth celebration event at Norwood Park the week of the anniversary of the shooting.
And when was that anniversary of the shooting? Give us that date.
September 9th.
Okay, September 9th. So how many years ago has that been?
It's only been 1 year.
It's only been 1 year.
A year
right.
and some months.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah, right.
but we hosted that event. That picture was taken at that event that in Norwood
The Justice
Park.
and Civil Rights Initiative hosted that event.
Yes,
Okay.
we hosted that event, and it was the week of the anniversary, the 1 year anniversary of the shooting.
Okay. When we come back, you know what? It's another case, and this was a big case that you guys really helped from what I understand, really to bring resolve to that case. And when we come back, we're going to talk about that case. This is where a young woman was shot, sitting in her car in Constantine just a few years ago. So when we come back, we're going to talk about that case. So don't go away. We'll be right back. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Local Matters, where living local never felt so good. If you just joined us, I've been here all morning long talking with members from the Justice and Civil Rights Initiative, the president, Ed Moore, and also young man, also part of that initiative is Corey Sears, and he is a communication specialist. Before we went to break, we were talking about some amazing work that you done with the Minifield case with the young boy who was shot in Norwood Homes. You're still kind of working on that case. That case has not resolved right now.
No.
But a case that you did work to really bring resolve to was a huge case, and that was DeCorio Royal about 2 or 3 years ago. And then I do stand to be corrected. She was not in her car, but tell us quickly, she was in her home and was shot.
Yes, she was at her apartment at Constantine Homes.
In Constantine Homes and was shot.
On April 6, 2012. That's when the shooting happened. That's when she was killed.
Okay, and so you guys have closed that case now.
Yes, there was a suspect who was actually rearrested on September 15th, and we did get that case successfully resolved after 16 months of independently investigating.
Independently on your own, again, working with this, I have to keep, and remind our viewers, this is you're an independent organization. You're not working for the district attorney's office, you're not working for the Anniston Police, but you're working as an independent organization.
Absolutely.
Working with the people in the community who are willing to talk to you.
Absolutely.
And willing to provide information to you. With that being said, speaking of that, I understand that you feel that there's still a lot of tension when it comes to police and the community. Corey, do you want to chime in on that? Because you are the communications outreach specialist. How do you feel that the relationships are going on with the community and the police?
I feel that there's a significant problem with communication and the police agencies and definitely the community. So what we really try to address is what agencies are doing, what they're doing for the people, and the things that they're doing to help solve issues in the community. For instance, Jacksonville City Jail just recently was building a new facility, and there's a lot of new improvements to that facility for the sake of individuals who come through the jail system and things for the community in general that the community did not know about. And what we really want to do is try to mend those issues. We like to believe that most people are good people. You know, most officers, especially the ones I've come across, are good, hardworking people who have no dislike or hate in
And
their
I will
heart.
say that too. I mean, I here recently have found myself witnessing certain instances when the police have been involved, and they've been right on the money.
Right.
Right on the money.
And there are certain people, no type of person in particular, that want to kind of create firestorm and debate between the two sides or whatever. But what we really want to do is keep, tensions low, and we want to keep that bond between the community and the police strong.
Okay. And with that being said, now on the other tip though, Ed, you mentioned you have to talk about it. We don't want to talk about racism. We really don't. Sometimes we just want to sweep it under the rug and just say, what, it's just, that happened back in 1950, 60. We don't have those problems anymore. Ed, you're saying differently.
What I'm saying is that racism is a problem in the United States of America. Okay, it is. However, racism is a problem in so many different facets. We see racism as a white person doing something to a black person. That's all, for the most part, that's how people view racism. And they don't view it as any other person.
Any other way, right.
Or any other way. And as far as civil rights is concerned, people view civil rights as a white person doing something to a black person, or a white police officer doing something to a black police officer.
And you're right. And civil rights is spanned it's such a broad area.
It is. And if you take the word apart, civil rights of the civilians, which means people. Civilians just means people. So it's rights of the people, and that means all people.
All people.
And I think we live in this day where everything is about race, and that's what's damaging the civil rights movement, the modern day civil rights movement for groups like ours. Because
And I'm glad you said that, the modern day, because when you said a Justice and Civil Rights Initiative, I mean, you're being looked at now as the new civil rights movement in a way in that you can tell us in what ways?
In ways that, well, first of all, we have diversity within this company, within the Justice and Civil Rights Initiative, and we don't cater to a specific group.
Well, they had. Well, now wait a minute. Let's go back. Now they had diversity too in the original.
They did.
Right. Oh,
they
yeah.
did.
Oh,
they
yeah.
did. What I'm talking about, a lot of modern day civil rights groups, they're very specific to helping a group of people.
One set.
One set of people.
Okay.
And we don't have that mantra. We don't have that idea. Anyone that needs our help can give us a call, or anyone
And looking for information, seeking to know more. Right?
Absolutely. And there is no reason. I mean, we've had a myriad of cases where you could take one thing, add another, put this there, put that there. We don't have a set case that we will accept.
So you're not saying you're not just working to say I'm fighting because I want a seat on the bus, in the front seat of the bus. You're working on behalf of, it could be a number of things, as you mentioned. It could be racism. It could be sexual orientation.
It could be child abuse.
It could be child abuse. Murder.
As we saw in the Courier Royal case. And I don't know if you all wanted to put that picture of Sergeant Royal.
Can we bring that up right quickly, right before we go, because we really are running out of time. But I wanted to see that picture of the Courier Royal, and then a young man too. That was a person that is now behind bars because of the work and information that you was given to you, and you were able to provide to the district attorney's office, and then you guys were able to take it on home, if you will.
And
take it on home.
This is an example of what happens when police, DA's offices, and civil rights groups work together. Because whether we believe it or not, murder is a violation of someone's rights. They're civil and human rights.
Oh, I wish we could sit here and talk so much more, because we could sit here for an hour and talk more about what you guys are doing for this community and the people in this community. So first of all, again, thank you for coming on aboard Local Matters and sharing with our viewers really who you are and what you're doing in the community. And I want to encourage you to continue to do that, because it's a sad testament, but it's true. Terrorism will continue. Crime is going to continue. Civil unrest, and we need organizations where people can feel comfortable and share information. And we need you to come back and join us next week with more Local Matters.
So good, say often felt so good, so felt so good, felt so good.